What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. So if you're gearing up to launch your private practice these days, there's a good chance you're going to launch an exclusively teletherapy practice from your home. And the great news about that is you can save all that cash that you'd be spending on your brick and mortar office otherwise. But even though you get to skip out on this massive expense by working from home, it doesn't mean it's a completely free process. There are a number of expenses to account for when launching your in-home teletherapy practice. So in this video, I'm going to break down each line item so that you can calculate the exact cost of launching your in-home teletherapy practice. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. Depending on where you land, there is a massive range for how much it could cost to launch your teletherapy practice. Now, there's a lot to be said about each of these items, and fortunately, I've already made videos about most of them, so rather than delving into the details of each one, I will just link below to all my other videos related to these, and you can learn more there. All right, so let's dive into the expenses. First, there's liability insurance. Now, there's a good chance you're already paying for this, but just in case you're not, this is likely to be your biggest expense when it comes to launching your teletherapy practice. Now, with that said, a lot of insurance policies have special rates for if you're working part-time or maybe it's your first year practicing, and then they sort of scale up the pricing from there. Now, you do want to check with that insurance policy to see if they have any requirements in order for you to offer teletherapy services, as some liability insurances do require some sort of special certification or CEUs related to offering teletherapy in order for them to cover your teletherapy services. And then of course, if you fulfill those requirements, those are probably going to cost you some money too. Next is your website. And compared to all the other items I'm going to go over today, this one probably has the widest range of how much it could cost you. Expect to pay at least $12 a month if you're using a website builder like Squarespace, upwards of $5,000 or double that or more if you're hiring out to have somebody design a custom website for you, and everything in between. Third is advertising. Now, yes, technically, you don't have to spend a dime on advertising if you're just totally crushing your SEO game or you already are set up with an awesome base of referral sources. However, if you're just starting out, there's a good chance you haven't quite yet built up all that nice SEO juice and that you don't yet have enough networks to supply continuous referrals, in which case it might make sense to spend a little money on various therapist directories or potentially Google or social media ads. Number 4, most all of you are going to pay for a practice management system if you're starting a teletherapy practice. Now, yes, you can technically save those dollars and just have a pen and paper charting system. However, you're quickly going to find that there are several tools that you need to pay for in order to continue to meet with your clients remotely. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, then you know that my videos are sponsored by TherapyNotes, which is a fantastic practice management system. They can help you with scheduling your clients, making sure your clients can complete all of their intake paperwork securely. You can do all of your notes and billing within the platform as well, and they have a telehealth platform now too, which means you can meet with your clients right within the TherapyNotes platform. You can get 2 months to try TherapyNotes for free just by clicking the link in my description box. Now, on that note, if you don't opt to pay for an EHR system with a built-in teletherapy platform, then you are going to need to consider expense number 5, and that's a telehealth platform, because how are you going to do teletherapy without a telehealth platform? Starting at $0 a month with Doxy for a HIPAA secure option, all the way up to $200 a month if you want to use the HIPAA secure version of Zoom for healthcare. And expense number 6, secure email and optional phone line. Now, the rest of the potential expenses we're going to cover in this video are items that most of you likely have already, but if you don't, you're definitely going to need to pay for them in order to launch your teletherapy practice. And that leads us to expense number 7, internet. Yeah, most of you probably have internet, especially if you're watching this video. Thanks for watching. However, it's possible that your internet isn't speedy enough to withstand all the bandwidth required to have a smooth teletherapy session. You may want to upgrade your internet, and yeah, it might cost you an extra $30 or $50 a month, but if it's the difference between a choppy session and a smooth session, it is money very well spent. Expense number 8, your device. Because yeah, if you don't have a device in order to communicate via teletherapy, then it's not going to happen. And if somehow the device you have just doesn't have a camera and microphone, then that leads us to expense number 9, external camera and microphone. And expense number 10, I'm just naming loosely as office stuffs. Basically, there's all the little things that you're going to want to make sure your office is all set up for teletherapy, like lighting, soundproofing, and making sure you have a comfortable chair to sit in. I've linked below to my video all about setting up your in-home teletherapy office, so feel free to check that out, and anything that you still need to purchase, don't forget to add that to your budget. So to put all of these potential costs into perspective, assuming you already have access to a lot of these items like fast internet and devices and such, and you're wanting to DIY a lot of the process, then you can expect to spend a minimum of $500 or $600 in order to launch your home teletherapy practice, and then spend at least $100 a month or more from there in order to maintain it. So it's really financially feasible for a lot of people to on-ramp into this option. Now at the other extreme, if you're not really into DIYing things and you want to make sure your devices are upgraded and such, and you end up hiring out to have somebody custom design your website, well, then you could potentially spend upwards of $15,000 or more just to launch your practice. So as you can see, there's quite a wide range for how much it could cost to launch. However, if you go through each of these line items and calculate the expenses based on what's a good fit for you, you should be able to roughly determine how much money to budget in order to launch your teletherapy practice before you've spent a dime. Now, for those of you who like to have a piece of paper to print out and help you move through it, I created a handy dandy little PDF with each of these expenses and little fill in the blanks for you to fill in the costs based on what you decide to include in your practice, and then add them all up so you know how much it's going to cost. So you can find a link to that PDF in the description box below as well. Now, wherever you might be at in your practice launching journey, I hope you found this video helpful. Just a reminder that by clicking the link in my description box, you can get 2 months to try TherapyNotes for free with no commitment. Let me know in the comments what other expenses I might have missed in this video that you needed to account for when you launched your teletherapy practice. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. It's not a completely free process, so it's so that you can calculate the exact cost of launching your yes. When it comes to the it's hot and there's an airplane flying by.